AJ played there. Played at Maryland when it was Lefty Driesell Day early in the year. Today it's Gene Katie Day. Sad part is for Gene Katie Day, I wanted to join in with them. I love the guy. He's done so much for this place, for college basketball, for Big Ten basketball, and I'm just glad I got to see him. As far as we go, he said getting off to a good start would be important. We did. Led most of the first half. We had one of those stretches again where, we just can't get everybody playing well together. It's Jaden in foul trouble the whole first half, hurt us. And then AJ just couldn't buy a shot. He played hard, he played well. We played hard enough against a team who plays hard. We said we got to win the battle of the bench. At halftime, we were up 16-0. Gillis hits those 2 threes in the free throw late. And one of them was just on a missed coverage that we didn't cover. But when you look at the turnovers, we have 7, I think. The rebounds, we have more offensive rebounds than them. And I think they're the best offensive rebounding team I've seen. Got beat on the boards by 3, shot well from the 3-point line. We just couldn't make the 2s. The number of shots AJ had in there, and even Malik had a couple. We just needed a couple of those to fall, but I don't fault the effort. I was proud of my guys. I think they're a very, very, very good basketball team. And hopefully we'll learn a lesson on just these little things out of timeouts, the little things to start the second half that we needed to do, and they hit us with 2 things right there. And give Matt credit, he did a hell of a job too, and that was the difference in the game. Questions?
Can you talk a little bit about the job that not just your bigs but your guards did on Edie early until the fouls started building?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to cover him. Can't push and even back in, and then we tried to go with Book on that. It wasn't a good thing, not his fault. But Book did a hell of a job on some other things, and so we were trying to see if we could play those guys separately. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think our guards swarming and getting loose rebounds. I don't know who got all our rebounds. I didn't even look at that. Tyson had 7. That's amazing. And Malik had 4. And Marty only had 1, but he only played 6 minutes. He was in foul trouble early. And Jaden got 3, and he was in foul trouble. AJ got 3, and Cohen Carr got 4 in his time. And as I said, Cohen and Xavier, have been getting better and better, and it's just a matter of learning how to know when to double. And there were so many things that we kind of just, young guys, they just weren't ready for, and yet they did a hell of a job.
Tom, do you feel any better about your team after this effort compared to after the last 2 games at home last week?
Yeah, that's a loaded question and a tough question, because here at Michigan State, there's no moral victories. I was pleased with that we competed. I think if we would have done that in the last 2 weeks, we would have won 3 more games, and that's my fault. That falls on me. I wish I had an answer, but do I think we're in a better place? Do I think they understand? Do I think they saw the couple of mistakes here and there, and that the my bads are okay, but you just don't win against good teams? And so I think that'll help us. But this team competed tonight against a very good team in a very, very, very difficult atmosphere. The 1-3 they hit in the corner, Gillis, we had the coverage, and AJ just didn't hear Cooper yelling because the crowd was so loud. We put crowd noise in our building to try to simulate, but he couldn't simulate that. Hats off to Purdue for that.
A huge part of Purdue's success this season has been offensive rebounding. You just kind of speak to your game plan and the effort you got keeping them off the offensive glass, especially early.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to cut him out, but that's almost impossible with Edie. But we tried to gang rebound. That was what we did. We just said, if one guy leaks out, he's out. And that's the way we did it. And I thought Cohen went in there and really did a good job. And I told Tyson and AJ, those guys got to get 5-6 rebounds. Well, AJ got 3 and Tyson got 7. I think Jaden would have had 5 if he could have played some minutes in that first half. That really hurt. So it was just a gang rebound, and we've not been the best rebounding team this year. So I guess I was proud of my guys for that. And what we did with that is second chance points, 17-12, because they're so good at that. Because Edie just gets them and dunks them. And bench points 27-7. Points in the paint even. I mean 20-26 points off turnovers. 12-6. I mean, we did the things that you had to do. We made some key mistakes, and we're not good enough to do that against what I consider the best team in the country.
Jaden's second half, particularly after Purdue goes up, I think 14 or 15 there at that one point. He had the back-to-back possessions where he gets fouled and then attacks. I mean, that seems like one of those situations where you can bottle that and look and say,
yeah, you can, but it's like I said about Book. I mean, there's things that you realize you don't realize. I mean, Edie was out in that one stretch where he took 2 to the rack, and if that monster's in there, it's a little different, and but I thought Jaden did a great job. We just got to keep him out of foul trouble. And the second one he got, I mean, I struggled with some of that, but didn't play good enough to complain about it.
Tom, over here, I know Cohen only had 4 rebounds, but he looked different to me in terms of how he attacked the glass today. I'm wondering if he looked different to you and how you get that sort of vigor out of him.
Yeah, I told you the last 2-3 weeks, both those guys have, I think, finally went from freshmen to sophomores. I mean, Book still. I mean, the weight and the things are going to be issues. Like the 2 times he was on him, it was really tough. And we couldn't double fast enough. But at the same time, those other guys are pretty strong too. So I mean, I think Book's made some progress. And Cohen, he was aggressive with the ball. He was aggressive going to the basket. They're gonna, continue to play more, just like I told you. It has been in the last couple of weeks, and they've been better.
Is it a race against time with those guys as the season ends to see if you can get them to do the little things to have B+ players or no?
I don't know if it's a race against time. I mean, I know most people out there would think I should have been doing that earlier. I'm just telling you, there is a process to this system, as there is. I really like Kaufman. Ran, and I think he's a redshirt sophomore. Is that right, you guys? So he's sat out a year. He's a damn good player. He plays hard. He didn't play great tonight, but we just seem to think that these guys can just do some things. Some of it is their strength. Cohen's case, there's things he can't do. There's things he can do. He's trying to figure that out. But I just want to keep trying to win some games now, and because I do think if they got anything out of tonight, I got a good basketball team, and I'm not saying it's great. It's good. We just can't make these little mistakes, and our seniors got to play better. They just do. I got to coach better. They got to play better, and that's the bottom line. And if they continue to compete like they did tonight, we'll play better.
Tom, you said you think Purdue's the best team in the country. I think there were people that maybe thought that last year, but this team seems a lot different than that team a year ago. What makes this team better than maybe where?
Blair, he killed us tonight and got us up there. He was shooting 16% the last 5 games, and he nailed, I think, 4 to 6 threes. But I think the difference in this team is Smith. He just kind of runs the team. He doesn't make many mistakes. He does it. He's open. He hits a shot. He doesn't force any shots. He's as good a post passer as I've ever seen. And I told Gillis after the game, he didn't play very well tonight, I guess. I mean, I don't know what constitutes play very well, but You know, he's shooting 48% from the three. I mean, he's shooting better than anybody on their team. I mean, when I think of the improvement that kid has made, which is to my point on why freshmen and sophomores and juniors and seniors, the improvement that Gillis has made has really helped them. They have more depth than they had a year ago. And I think Matt's done a hell of a job. And, you know, it's funny. I get asked all the questions. You know, I've been to my share of Final Fours, and I went over and hugged the guy and told him I loved him. And what I love most about him is he'd never been to a Final Four. He handled it. Gene handled it, you know. And Matt's had a couple tough situations. I've had a couple tough situations. The funny part is I've had teams that weren't as good that made it to a Final Four, and some of the teams I've had that were really good, we didn't get out of the first weekend. Now, the NCAA tournament's about matchups, but I think their guard play is a lot better than it was a year ago. Personally, I think those two were freshmen last year. Lawyer played really well tonight. Smith played really well tonight. Jones did not play as well, but he's been playing really well. So I think they have more they can move around. And then when you can bring in guys at 6'6", 6'7", like Heidi, like Morton, you know, that are experienced, that are big, strong, play to their role. He's got one of the great teams that guys will play to their role. And I have a lot of respect. We played some 1 seeds in Tennessee and probably will be in Arizona. You know, we've played a couple Dukes and Baylor now is moving up again. And I mean, I think this team is, I'm a little prejudiced because of my friendship. I'm prejudiced because of Gene Katie days, so I'm not going against him. I'm prejudiced because he's a man in the Big Ten that has done a hell of a job in this conference. But I'm also not stupid. I mean, I do believe it. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it.
Got time for a couple more, Maddie and Brian.
Tyson Walker, we talked about him at practice this week, but to have 14, he did a lot of things tonight with rebound and assist and everything, but 14 points on 15 shots is your leading scorer. Just what are you seeing from him? Do you like his shot selection? Do you feel like
you know, you got to give them a little bit of credit. I didn't love all of it. I thought he passed up some shots to take some worse shots. And boy, when people are flying at you like they were, it's difficult. And then when Jaden was out, you know, they could really, I mean, I have Cohen in there, and again, everybody wants me to play certain guys, but when you do that, they can double up like they were doing on him. I mean, he's a damn good coach, and he knows what he's doing. So, no, I didn't like all the shots, but I like most of AJ's shots. He just didn't make them. And so I did want the ball in Tyson's hands more because I thought he could get a shot. And but you're right. You know, when you get 14 points on 15 shots, that's not that good. But you know, I mean, I think what do you go 5 for 15? Edie from 2 feet went 9 for 15. So I guess I should be happy with my guy. I mean, he competed like that. He rebounded like that. He did the things we needed him to do. He just didn't make enough shots. We didn't make enough twos. We made enough threes. We didn't make enough twos. Some of them were tough twos. Some of them were easy twos.
You already talked a little bit about Braden Smith, but how much more difficult is Purdue to guard now that doing more ball screen stuff with him and Edie?
Yeah, I think that's another brilliant move by Matt. You know, I mean, you watch him for the first time, and I watch him all year because I keep an eye on the best teams in our league. But when you start watching them, breaking them down, and you say, well, wait, where's Sasha's stuff? You know, it's not there as much. The one reason is because Sasha's not there, and I think that was a mark of a good coach. He realized that Edie and putting him in some ball screens, he's so big, and then those other guys were. When you're in a ball screen, that leaves Edie even more open on the post because you got to deal with the ball screen at the top of the key. So I like what they've done. I think they've moved some things around. But if Lawyer shoots like he did, and he's been shooting good except for the last 5 or 6 games, that makes a big difference. And like I said, I guess we got lucky because Gillis didn't do too much, and Jones really did nothing. And I like him a lot too. So I like a lot of his guys. I think they. I'm hoping for his sake and for their sake and for your sake, this is a year that he advances because I just think they've earned it, and I think he's earned it the way he's handled it. But that tournament is a miserable thing. It really is. I mean, you know, matchups, time you play them, second team you play. There's so many things that play a factor in that. And I think of one of my best teams, we got beat in Detroit by an average Syracuse team, you know, and we were 30 and so I've been there and done that. And but the way Matt has handled it, you're lucky you got him. Better cherish him. Don't worry about how many Final Fours he gets. Wins a lot of games, does it the right way, and he's a hell of a coach.
All set, guys? Thanks.
Okay, so